Testing 1 2 3. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So I planned out this video, however I was gonna sit down and like take notes and write everything down in chronological order and this and the third. I decided I'm just gonna hop on and talk about it, so I'm sorry if I seem a little here and over there and all over the place. I realized I don't want to do a research paper on it. I just want to talk about it, get my feelings out, and let it be. And there's certain things I'm just trying not to dwell on too long or revisit. Long story short, no, it's not gonna be short, let's not lie. What's up, y'all? So I am 25 years old and I just now got my first apartment. I'm almost at 2 months of having it. I'm so happy. I decorated, it looks so cute. If you check out any of my regular vlogs, you know you'll know the vibes, you'll see the vibes, you'll appreciate the vibes. That being said, I want to let y'all know my home means so much to me. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like my life was harder than it was. My life is what it was. I feel like my parents did a great job. I feel like they really did the best they could. Like, I'm not gonna get too much into childhood and this and the third, because not all my business is mine to tell, but I am going to share mine without trying to, you know, I'm not coming for nobody. I'm just telling y'all how it is. So I think it was the it's not me getting emotional already. Stop it, it's not that serious. Well, it is, but it's not. I'm not gonna let it be. The first couple of days I got in here, I cried because having my own home, having my home and my own, okay? I've had a home growing up. I've been pretty well taken care of. I'm not gonna sit here and act like my life was harder for the sake of entertainment. No, I've been taken care of. I'm not gonna get too much into it with my family, but I feel like I am gonna go back to the beginning of when I should have started chasing my own dreams. And these are some of the lessons I'm trying to tell y'all. Do not chase nobody else's dreams but your own. Don't sacrifice what you got going on in your journey for the sake of anybody else. You can look out for people along the way. You can try to help out as much as you can, but you gotta set firm boundaries. You have to learn how to say no, and you have to talk to yourself and figure out what's best for you. So I'm in my own loft. I'm in my own loft with free time. Emphasis on the free time. I wake up, I do whatever I want, and I'm hoping that I can sustain this schedule because it's fucking lit. I love it. I'll make a whole nother video about what it's like to work for myself and be my own boss at 25, and hopefully I can make this last. But that being said, I want to talk about why home means so much because I'm already going all over the place. Whew. First off, I got this apartment because of my sex and sensual work. And if you're not okay with that, go ahead and click off because you're probably already going to form a bias against me before you allow me to even speak. That being said, yes, I have the OnlyFans. No, that's not what solely got this apartment. Yes, I am a cam girl. No, that's not what solely got this apartment. Yes, I do food delivery. Your girl has a lot of hustle in her. Long story short, camming changed my life and I'm in my own apartment now. Yes, I do have a roommate. If you don't have a roommate at your age, congrats that you make that much money. For anybody else living in the real world who makes, you know, an average amount of money or less than an average amount, you know you need a roommate. So that being said, let me tell you about my roommate and housing journey. Let's dial it back. We're gonna dial back to, I think, my teenage years, like late teens, or I might, no, not teens. I think I was 20, like 20, 21, somewhere around that time. I'm sorry if I don't have all the details. No, this is not a made up story. It's the fact that it's so long ago that if I sit here and try to recalibrate everything that happened in my head, I'm gonna end up getting triggered. I'm gonna get very, very triggered, and I'm trying to keep this positive. This is a story time to anybody who feels like they're behind, anybody who still lives with their parents, anybody who moved back in with their parents, anybody who feels like it's taking them a long time to fly the nest, anybody who has struggled with home or has house hopped or whatever it is. This is for you. I see you, baby, and I hope you find your peace. Environment is everything. You cannot thrive without your right environment. If you have a plant that can grow into this beautiful ass thing, it might die under the wrong conditions. Things can kill that plant and its energy. The same goes for environment, and it takes a lot for people to just grow up out the concrete, out the sidewalk cracks, all right, and surpass those conditions. So that being said, a long time ago, and this is no way coming for like my fam or anything like that, I had a parent who wanted to move to a different state. And you know, my parents, they're like together, but they're not together. And we do have a special needs family. I do have siblings that are on the spectrum. So that being said, technically, I guess I'm like neurotypical or the only neurotypical. I don't really like words like that, but scientifically, that's how it is. I grew up in a very loving home. You know, of course, the circumstances had its difficulties, but that being said, I did have moments where I felt alone because, you know, my parents would have their dynamic and then my siblings have their dynamic. And I feel like I grew up in a caregiver role, which I fully accept. There's no shame in it. Even as I grew older, I ended up taking jobs as a caregiver. I feel like I have the heart for it. There are so many wrong people in the field that I am happy to be the sister I am to my siblings. I had a parent who wanted to move to a different state. It wasn't gonna keep the family intact, but this is the parent's dream. I was like, all right, bet. Tell me why. I ended up, we tried this a couple times. Moving is no easy fit, and obviously given the circumstances, it's a lot harder. I didn't intend to stay, but I was gonna try to stay as long as I could to help. Tried to go with this parent. Tell me why I transferred my whole job to this new place, and this is not no close place. Like, we talking over 10 hours away. I transferred my whole job. I've taken my car to and from there a couple times. I've opened storages. Like, I was really there. Like, I be riding hard for my family. I was like, if this is your dream, I'm gonna try my best to help you with it. Went down there, things were just not working out. Life was doing the thing. Things were hard. I had a good time because I made the best of it, but I definitely had some moments that just were not the best. I remember at one point I had all my stuff in the car. Like, I was traveling around with all my, because I had emptied my storage because I was tired of moving my storage here and there. I was trying to go to work and I had fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, that saga of my life was beautiful. It was eye-opening, but it was also a lot. But I think a lot of lessons were meant to be learned in that chapter of my life too. So I tried to follow the parent. At one point, there was just a lot of guilt riding on me because I took my first Asia trip. Your girl went to Tokyo, Seoul, and Thailand and Bangkok by herself for the first time ever. By myself, y'all. I was gone for like a month and a half. And it was supposed to be a beautiful trip. I needed the break. I felt like I deserved it. I was working my ass off. I was trying to look out for everybody. But unfortunately, I was a very, I'm not gonna overinflate my importance, but I was providing support. This parent had it, of course, but the additional support never hurts. And by me taking that support away, that put a lot of guilt on me. At the time, the boyfriend I was with was just full of jealousy. I didn't realize it till now, and he was like, you're gonna go to Asia by yourself? Like, what's gonna happen? What's going to, just instilling fear in me. The friend I was with didn't seem excited. Like, it's so funny how people will be excited to be your friend until you're taking yourself different places than them. Because, and even then, I invite people to come along, but if you're not gonna be ready to go, then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go live my life, because I know one day I'm gonna have to take care of my entire family, and I take that on with honor. But that's why I work as hard as I do to get where I'm at. I really do. Like, I want to be able to put, I'm not even thinking that's decades away, but I'm already thinking for the future. I want to be able to take care of my parents. I want to take care of my brothers. I don't want nothing to happen. I've worked in group homes. I've seen elderly homes, nursing homes. I don't want to risk it. I want my family in good care. And I'm not saying, oh, I deserve to be rich and famous. I'm saying I'm gonna work hard to stabilize myself and look out for my family. When I say I do this for my family, I mean it. So that being said, I had gone on an Asia trip. I felt a lot of guilt because I felt like I was leaving my family behind. And at that point, I had not learned the lesson that sometimes you gotta go. Sometimes if things are not working out, it's not selfish, because I had this trip planned. Everybody knew about it. Like, you know, I tried to stay and help as long as I could. Eventually, I saw a pattern. We kept trying to, you know, go there and work it out. I was trying to, like, look out for this parent and stuff like that. It just wasn't working. I kept ending up with, like, I guess the short end of the stick. At one point, they had to go back home, and I found myself with my job transferred over there, and I couldn't leave because otherwise I was going to get fired and lose my job. A lot of pressure. So I found myself staying in hostels because that was the only way I could keep my paycheck and not completely give it to rent for a place that I wasn't even meant to be in the first place, because I was trying to look out for, you know, my family. When in reality, listen, we should all just go back home, make a concrete plan, and go about this strategically. I can't tell you how many times I've been to this place trying to set things up or go out and scout first or help or da-da-da-da. It's not my dream. It's not my dream, and it breaks my heart that I have to walk away from it because it's my parents' dream, but I know I'm gonna do the best I can to help them achieve that dream in the future, but then was not the time, and I was hurting myself in the moment. I ended up staying in hostels. I found one, and that one was like chaotic and hectic, and it was good and it was bad at the same time. I met a lot of friends. I met some friends I have to this day through that hostel, so, you know, not all regrets. But that being said, I was in a hostel, all my stuff was in a car. I was rooming with some strippers, which is so crazy because I was not a stripper, I was not a sex worker, I was not any of that at that point in time. I was just working in a warehouse. I'm like, I'm working in a warehouse, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I never thought I'd get into porn. it. I never thought I'd get into like, you know, I was like, well, I don't judge y'all for it. That's pretty cool. Like y'all look good. Y'all beautiful. I was hanging out with them. We was going out for breakfast. We was drinking. We was smoking. We was chilling. I let them go live their life and I lived mine. So it's so surreal to like see people in the industry. And years later, it's like, look at you. Look where you at right now. And look at where it got me. And I'm still working really hard. Don't mind me. I'm not just sitting around every day. But that being said, I'm getting off track. I was in a hostel, had its ups and downs. There was a lot of chaos. It felt like Bad Girls Club one episode and Full House the next. Like, I kid you not. It would go from family vibes, oh my gosh, everybody's here, it's Christmas love, to like, who ate my yogurt? I had some grown-ass man stealing my food out the fridge. Can you imagine working a 10 to 12-hour shift? Because mind you, I remember this around the holidays, so we was clocking 12-hour shifts. Can you imagine being a girl in your 20s, working 10 to 12 hours in a warehouse during the holidays, to come back and sleep in a hostel, a house full of like, y'all, I swear, they had a big fence so nobody could see and all the cars got parked in the back. I think it was like 20 people in the house. I kid you not. The boys were over there, the girls were over there, some had mixed dorms, and then there was a family and their kid that was running it. So I was like, make y'all money, I ain't gonna say, you know. Anyways, can you imagine coming back after a 12-hour shift and a grown man who drinks beer and sits around and does nothing ate your food, your fuel for you to go to work the next day? Y'all, I was so mad. I almost put a laxative in my yogurt. I almost opened the yogurt. It was my little Chobani's, and put a laxative in there and sealed it back up. I was so close, y'all. I was so... Did I? You know what? I think, you know what? No. Oh, damn. That's how you know what bitch was mad. I did, and then I ended up regretting it, and I took it out before they could get their hands on it. But I was pissed. I was pissed. I was just tired. I was weak. I was going to the warehouse. I had fun with friends, but remember, I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there for family that was no longer there because things didn't work out. But if I left my job, I'd get fired. So, and this is where kind of like another situation comes in. I tried to like make it as long as I could. I had family in and out of the picture basically, but it ended up being me uprooting my whole life, including my job, transferring it to this new place. And then the people I was there for in the first place had to go back home. And it's like, can you be mad at that? Can you be mad that they were self-aware, they couldn't make it, but now you're stuck? And so I ended up staying, and I was working because I was like, you know what, like the weather's good, it's whatever, like I could see myself being here, my family would come back and this, that, and the third. And I'm not gonna get into, I don't want to touch on this too much because this is not a fun time of my life, and thankfully nothing happened. And I realized, like, even to this day, I realized like something really, really bad could have happened, and I'm so grateful for whatever it was out there that protected me. But I ended up, before I found this hostel, I think I forgot what happened. I had either an issue with the like family hostel, or I ended up going to one before. Something happened. It was ups and downs. It wasn't like every day was peachy. At one point I ended up staying in a different hostel, and that one was cute until it wasn't. I met this character, and I'm not even gonna give them like more than 2 minutes of screen time at this point. I met this character. They were female, they were my age, and they were also Black. And you would think it wouldn't be your own, but that's why I say be careful of who you trust, like literally anyone, female, male. Long story short, they painted themselves as a traveler. They said they were waiting to be an airline agent in this, that, and the third. They were painting themselves to have this luxury lifestyle, how I could live this luxury lifestyle too, and I was so pretty and it'd be so easy for me. I was like, ooh, that sounds sketchy. But eventually they proved themselves to be an I friend. Emphasis on the I, like it was good until it wasn't. I'm not even gonna say, oh, you were a good friend. At one point, we ended up traveling internationally together. Up until this point, I did not have a friend who could up and go and travel internationally. I was impressed. I was like, let's go, let's do it. So I ended up going overseas to visit family, and they so happened, they were in a different country at the time, but they're like, oh, well, I'll just come over there. I'm traveling with my guy, my man, whatever he was, and I'll just come over there to your city. So we ended up in the city together. I'm not gonna talk about it too much. I did a story time about this a long time ago when I was new to YouTube. I didn't know how to edit this, and the third. I just wanted to share how it was. I shared it on my other channel, and then like my parent found out, or parents, I don't know if they both know, and it was just something that kind of doesn't get talked about. Thankfully nothing happened to me, but basically the girl tricked me and was shoving substances in my mouth and having me drink and come out, and then tried to get me to go back to this hotel. And basically there was a violent, horny, vicious man there, some white dude from New York City who was like in business, finance, or whatever, and I overheard them basically, oh, okay, I gotta stop talking, I'm sorry, my heart starting to beat fast. I overheard something I wasn't meant to overhear, and I really think something saved me that day. I don't know if it was a late family member looking out for me because they were from that same city. I don't know if it was the universe or energy or whatever. I don't know, whatever gods and goddesses, but I'm grateful. And I'm over here, oh, fun party, yeah, da, 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 da. I just avoided a very bad situation, or somebody saved me. I don't know what force it was, but something saved me that night, I'm telling y'all. Oh, because that could have been bad. That could have been bad. And they got caught. I blasted all of them on Instagram. I'm like, oh, so we was out here attacking and drugging and trying to assault people now, right? This, that, and the third. Apparently this man was like violent. Like he had no chill. I don't know what happened with the girl. I don't know if she was in trouble or in danger. I contacted people. I was contacting people's wives. Apparently the wife wasn't on it. I don't know what was happening. I don't, like, it was not a good situation. And that stuck with me like that, y'all. I don't talk about it. I've healed from it to my knowledge, but just like the idea that something like that could have happened to me and that it happens to people, just wow. Like that had me like, oh, I don't trust women, I don't trust men, I don't trust nobody, I don't trust nobody but my family. And even if I trust you, I probably still don't actually trust you. Like, and you got to be careful who you party with, drink with, smoke with. And remember all this from a city I was moving to, or trying to help a parent move to, or whatever. International, we're international with this. Like, and I think I just got lucky because I had family over there. I was using my street smarts as much as possible, but I did slip up. And so, like I said, something saved me or protected me that night. And thankfully your girl came out untouched. But like it was weird. There was like she had a friend, and then the friend had his mom there who seemed like a very trusting character. Europeans be partying with their parents. I don't know if is that true? Can somebody confirm that? I don't want to generalize, but I do know when I've been over there, people be partying with their parents. Like the parents be as lit as the people they pushed out. So it was like her friend, his mom, like, you know, I'm around middle-aged people, but something weird was going on. Something very weird was going on. Anyways, I'm not trying to talk about that situation because that was terrifying. Yeah, that was terrifying. I definitely know that between the girl and whoever her male partner was she was traveling with and whatever else, people were trying to take advantage that night. And I got out of it and I went home and I blew the fuck up on social media. I tagged people, oh, you trying to do this to me? I know this and I know what y'all was about, this and the third. It was weird. The whole situation was weird. And the previous night before they had gone out with me, it was almost as if she invited the guy to the club I was with my cousin to like scope me out, like, oh yeah, you see her, do you like her? That type of weird anyway, y'all, I don't like to talk about it. That tea is old and cold and I'm not trying to sip on it no more. Just be careful. Anyway, it took a lot of maturity to realize that there is no one to blame in that situation, because any sequence of events can lead to something. Oh, I went to the store one day and I bumped into so-and-so and then one day this happened, or like any sequence of events can lead wherever. So I don't blame anybody like, oh my God, this terrible thing almost happened because I tried to move over here. It's nobody's fault, okay? It's nobody's fault. I should have been more careful, and thankfully I was just protected that night. I was protected, thank you. Anyways, after that, I was scared fucking shitless. I was scared fucking straight. Like, I kid you not. I went back to the city I was trying to move to. I was like, I'm not staying in hostels. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I was looking at everybody like, no, fuck you. I was angry, y'all. And nothing had happened. That's the craziest part about it. I was so livid, thinking what could have. I was livid. I was uncomfortable. I felt unsafe. Even the people I trusted. I remember I walked back into the hostel I was at. I think it was the family one. I walked back into the hostel I was at, and one of my male friends who I was actually close with there, he was there, and there was some guys in the kitchen. All the girls were out at work or whatever, and it was just males, and I immediately got pissed off, like, oh, like, man. And I know you shouldn't generalize, but at that moment, when something almost traumatizing like that happens, or traumatizing because it's still valid even though nothing dangerous or, you know, nothing happened to the fullest extent, I feel like it's easy to hate everyone in that situation or generalize. So therefore, I walked in, it's a bunch of dudes, they in the kitchen, they watching sports. The one that eats my fucking yogurt is in there too. And I was just mad. I was mad at all of them. And the male friend I had, I got livid because he has no filter and he jokes about everything. He made some joke about my appearance or this, that, and the third. And I just remember getting pissed off. And I was out. Next thing you know, I had packed up my car and I was driving back home over 10 hours because I was like, fuck it. I had gone into my job. Damn, I was crying. Yeah, I was crying. I was like, listen, I don't got nowhere to stay because I'm not staying in hostels anymore after what almost just happened. And it's crazy. This happened overseas. I carried that fear back over to where I was because I had met a girl who was on some weird ass fucking, I don't know what was going on in that city, in a hostel. It wasn't that specific hostel, it was another one, but still, I just didn't like the association. So I drove my ass all the way back home. And I just, from there, I didn't like that place. I didn't like that city. I didn't want to go back to it. I have been back to it since, but I just, no. Deep breath. I got really lucky that night. Thank you for whatever protected me, whoever, whatever force. That man was a demon walking this earth. I swear he was. And I'm sorry that he got his hands on her, and I hope she got out of that situation, but I didn't stick around to see. I took notes, I wrote names, this, that, and the third, and I just blocked everybody on social media. I had contacted the man's wife with kids, and she seemed like she was either in on it or she knew about her husband and wasn't gonna say anything. I was like, anyways, I'm glad I found out, because this is younger 20s, by the way. Let's fast forward, because I don't want that to be the whole story. That was just a big marker for me. Anyways, so I ended up going back to stay with my parents. It just felt more comfortable. Eventually, I got over the situation. I was traveling. I do say thank you to my parents for letting me stay as long as I did. I have traveled a lot of places because thankfully I had discounted rent or no rent. So I am so grateful. It gave me time to get my finances together, but because I was comfortable at my parents', and this is before I got into the industry, I just never pushed myself to get my own place. And I always wanted a roommate. Time goes by or whatever, and I'm sure there's like details I'm missing, but they seem minor enough if I forgot them. I start work at a warehouse, and we're kind of bringing up to present day because this is about my housing history and my living situation. I don't want to tell you everything in between that isn't relevant. That just, I'm letting you know there was a city, a lot of things happened in that city. I was in that city for, you know, family, and then I ended up being there by myself, and it just got crazy, and I ended up leaving basically, and I just got out safely. Thankfully, I lost my job. I ended up getting fired, and I had to come back and just start fresh, and it was a struggle financially and just everything, but eventually I stabilized. So I started working at a warehouse. Fast forward to like my mid-20s, like maybe a year or two ago. This is like it was like 2-3 years ago, right? So I start in a warehouse, and I'm minding my business. I'm just working and traveling. The thought to like move out still not in my head, and I don't want to seem like I was taking advantage of my parents, but I think after that moment, you know, at that age I should have been chasing my own dreams, getting my own place. But after that whole situation, I was just like, I'm gonna just stay here. And also, when you have a special needs family, everyone supports each other, so it's not like, oh, she's just here, she's not helping. No, I'd look out for my family, I would provide care and stuff, I'd do supervision. So I wasn't just there being a bum, okay? And I was actually writing. I was like, I'm gonna be author, I'm gonna blow up on YouTube. None of those things had happened. I was doing travel YouTube, and those videos are all shit, okay? I'm gonna revamp, restart, and rejuvenate my travel channel, because yeah, the spam channel came and I love it over here. I get to be myself. I feel like I was trying too hard on the travel channel, and I was traveling while I was like broke or on a budget, so I didn't even show y'all much. Thank you, sis, for giving us nothing. She gave us nothing. I was just excited to be in a place, and I was grateful. Anyway, so I start work at this warehouse. I'm minding my damn business. I always do well when I mind my damn business. Like, getting involved with people, I don't know, like, I'm not gonna sit here and generalize and act like I'm perfect, but a lot of people have a lot of healing to do, and they're not doing that healing, so they approach other people and they end up accidentally doing harm. But that being said, at least we had fun. So I go to this warehouse, I'm minding my business. I've had guys hit on me, it's nothing new, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, all right, bye, thanks. Less rude, but you know. I go to this warehouse and I'm minding my business because the last set of friends and boyfriend I had just did not turn out well. It was at the warehouse, and then I transferred my job to go to the new city to be with family. The family left. I lost my job in the new city, which was with the same company, and the boyfriend I had at the time won't shit, okay? Didn't even wish me a happy birthday, was just full of himself. He didn't want to claim me. I didn't even realize I was in a situationship. He was seeing other people, a whole bunch of, just a mess, just a player. The friend I was with was obsessed with her boyfriend. Like, she did not have an identity outside of her boyfriend, and she was still finding herself, and I encouraged it, but like, I think her boyfriend was like borderline, like getting to that, like, oh, I'm about to become abusive. He was very controlling. I was trying to talk her away from him. He didn't speak to me. He was rude. I was just like, girl, like, you need to wake up. If you need help, come talk to me, something like that. But I don't think it got to that point. He was just controlling and manipulative. And then the friends or associates I had in the warehouse, I had people saying stuff like, oh, you'll be back, or you're moving to this city, you know, it's a hot, sexy city. Oh, you moving, you'll be back. They always come back. Just bitter ass energy. Oh, you moving to a city and you're going to Asia, you're doing too much, you must have money, this and the third. Just a hater ass energy. anyways, I ended up working at the same warehouse. I'm sure y'all know which one I'm talking about. It's just different locations, you know, the big one we all order our stuff from. So anyways, fast forward to a couple years later, I don't really want friends. I'm lonely, I'm sad, yes, but I don't really want friends, because I remember how the last set went, and even leading up in my childhood, I have not had a good history with friends and boyfriends. Like, everybody out here cheating. The friends usually ended up backstabbing or betraying or doing more harm to me, and I'm just like, I can name maybe 1 or 2 friends that were genuinely good-hearted like myself, and we clicked, and they went off to do better things, and we still keep in touch, which I love. I just didn't want new friends, so I was just kind of like, oh, I love my parents and I make money and I just want to travel. This girl approaches me. I'm not gonna give code names or anything like that, because I feel like that's trying to be shady, but this girl approaches me and tells me that this guy wants to talk to me. Ironically, to this day, this guy is in my life, but we don't need to know all that. This guy wants to talk to me. He's too scared to approach me himself, and he reached out for her, like, hey, go talk to her, she fine, this, that, and the third. I was like, oh, that's cute, no thank you. Like, I was like, I'm not interested, that's not what I'm doing right now. I came here to work. My last workplace romance was, and I ended that one by, we had one trip together to the city I was moving to. We had one last trip. I'm gonna just say it, it's Miami. It's not a secret, all right? It's not, ooh, wow. Anyways, we had one last trip to Miami together, and that's like, I kid you not, y'all, and a bitch been through some shit. I found out he was cheating a couple days. Oh, universe, that's sick. Are you dead ass? I just realized that's the first time it happened, but it happened again, because the ex also, I found out he was cheating right before a big vacation. It happened twice. 2 different people. Ooh, anyways. Ooh. Oh gosh, anyways, it was right before our trip. I found out he was cheating, so we still went. I acted normal and casual. I was like, get a trip to Miami, and then after I moved, I never spoke to him again. Now, all that stuff, yes, did happen, but I still lived my best life in Miami. I hung out with strippers, I hung out with people at the clubs, I was driving in fast cars, I was chilling, like, I was living my life. I didn't even, this is before I even stepped into, you know, the industry, before I really, like, found myself. But that being said, that all ended, okay? But I did not realize I was stepping into a deja vu situation. So the girl ends up becoming a very close friend, just like the other girl at the warehouse, but just a different set of circumstances or issues. And the guy she's trying to introduce me to, I ended up getting involved with him. All right. And this went on for a couple years, all right? And it was a whole saga of, damn, I just stepped in, life goes in cycles. I do be copy and pasting, because what the fuck? Anyway, so she approached me, we became close. I thought she was on all good energy, and I'm not going to sit here and demonize this friendship, but I did have some issues. She would talk about other women. I don't like women who talk ill about other women. It doesn't sit well with me. Like, just don't do it around me. I'm not the person to like, oh, look how she did it. I don't want nobody doing me like that. That's not where my heart's at. So she would talk about women. I saw some red flags. I was picking up on, and I'm not trying to like turn this into like a friend. This is about my living situation. But she admitted to this too. There was some jealousy, there was some envy, there's a lot of comparison. For some reason, there always needed to be male attention or validation. If we were at the club, if we were here, males needed to be involved. I'm over here, I'm like, yo, I barely be liking the men that approach me. I don't really like them at all, actually. I'm not obsessed. I don't live for male validation. If anything, I'll capitalize off of it, off being in the male gaze, as you see now, but I'm not like, oh my God, man, I live for men. I'm not gonna switch up around you when a man comes around. I'm not gonna act or treat you different when a man's around. I'm gonna just be myself. Like, I'm not on that pick me energy. Anyways, she introduced me to this guy. He has his own apartment and his own car. I was like, ooh, that's hot, that's sexy. Like, I was like, I don't have that. I'm feeling like baby girl right now. She introduced me to him, and basically I didn't realize he was a player. He was talking to plenty of other girls. He thought I was gonna be on the roster or one and done, and here we are to this damn motherfucking day. Anyways, you don't get rid of me that easy unless I want to go myself, baby. So that being said, let me tell y'all this, and I know I'm getting off track, but it's all very much important. So basically, we had this warehouse, we chilling or whatever. We went on some adventures. I actually went on a whole international trip with this girl, first time ever. for going to a whole international, like, okay, there was a new continent I visited, so I was excited about that. Living my best life. Before I even got involved with these two, I was back up in Europe chilling. I was visiting family. I was doing this. I was in this country. Like, I had no fear. I had healed from a lot of the trauma, and I was stabilizing financially. Like, I was just trying to get back to myself. I was adventurous. I was strong. 2020 me and my spirit still hurts for her and what I allowed myself to go through. 2020 me, I don't recognize her. She got beaten and broken, not literally. She got pulverized, y'all. She got pulverized. Everything I thought I knew about myself and who I was and the walls I had put up just came down, and I did not recognize myself. Shit. So this girl that I met at work starts talking about, oh, we should move in together. I was like, bet, that sounds great. She's talking about moving to Atlanta. She's talking about moving here, this, that, and the third. And I was on board, and then I had to come to her and let her know. I was like, hey, listen, I bit off more than I could chew. I am not able to move in with you. I said this before anybody moved in anywhere. I'm not gonna wait till somebody gets a place and be like, oh, I can't move, sorry. Because a roommate's big. Half your rent, that's big, okay? You see, I pay half my rent now. I had let her know before, you know, she even started looking at places. I was like, listen, I can't do it. I am so sorry. Please proceed however you need to. I hate being this person right now, but between my car bill and my finances, I know I'm gonna let you down, and I'm not gonna let nobody get evicted or anything on my watch. Like, oh, Danny, you said, you know, this is before I was Danny, I think. I was going by my government. Oh my gosh. This is before I even became Danny. Or it might have been a little bit after. I don't know. I changed my name. Like, I was just a whole new person. Anyways, I was like, listen, I know my ability and I know what I can and can't do, and I'm not going to let you down or let anybody get evicted. She was like, all right, that's fine. I'm going to proceed forward without you. I was like, I'm proud of you. You got this. So anyways, we still ended up being friends. She got her first apartment. I was so happy for her. I was over here. I was happy for her. I really was. And meanwhile, the guy who was trying to talk to me, who I got involved with, has his own place too. And they ended up getting an apartment in the same neighborhood. No, they did not cheat. No, they did not sleep with each other. Don't get that out your head, okay? I know that's the regular narrative, and that's happened to me a couple times with friends and boyfriends. I try to keep them separate, but that actually is not what happened. They kind of like ended up hating each other, ironically. So he used her to talk to me, and then they just did not click whatsoever after that. Then he talked to me, and I was like, well, I'm still gonna be friends with her, like, you know. Anyways, so she got her own place. I end up in that neighborhood a lot. I'm going over to hers to hang out. She didn't drive, so I was always zooming everywhere, okay? And that's not cheap. Gas ain't cheap, but I was like, for the vibes, for the vibes. The vibes are free. The gas is free. Me driving around is free. I'll come pick you up. Mind you, I'm 30+ minutes away. I don't even live nowhere near the city or this neighborhood, but I'm in that neighborhood because one of my little boo playthings there, and my friend that was becoming my best friend at the time was there too. So I stayed in the neighborhood, and I would just pack bags. I was being asked to come. Hey, come stay with me. Oh, it's like, oh, I got 2 people who want to see me. They love the vibe. I drive. I'm gonna just pack a bag. I had him asking me to come stay for night. I remember it was early. You gonna come sleep over? It's like a 3-day weekend. Asking me to come spend the night for days on end. She wanted me to come hang out for days on end. Like, if y'all like my company, that's great. Thank you. I'm glad y'all like my company. I'm glad y'all like my energy. What I don't like is when people act like they want you around and then they act like you're a bother for being there. So it was fun. And then this is 2020. This is when, like, you know, the pandemic and all that stuff is hitting. People trying to get their little checks or whatever. Everybody chilling, free time, etc. And I was still working because I was having issues with this, the job, all of it. I was still working while other people were chilling, and as much as that hurt to see, I was happy for them. But things were hard for me at the beginning of the year, and then finally some stuff started falling into place. Anyways, I ended up in that neighborhood a lot after work, on the weekends, this, that, and the third. Here's the thing with the play thing, his friends hated me. They didn't hate me at first. They vibe with me, and then they learned to hate me. For some reason, my existence was too loud. With the other friend, the female friend that was part of the picture, I was supposed to move in with her. She wanted me over, but then and I'm not trying to tell her business, but all of a sudden there had to be a man in the picture. Oh, so-and-so's joining us. Oh, so-and-so's coming over. Oh, I have a D appointment. Okay, so why are y'all inviting me? And they're turning out to be uncomfortable environments. So I found myself going, oh, packing a bag. Ooh, 30 minutes, let me drive. Y'all, all right, let's start with the one. Let's start with the one. All right, we gotta address one thing at a time. And this is the most recent situation. So with the friend, like I said, there was always a male involved. At one point, I was going through it with my family. Oh, I forgot that whole part. Oh man, that's why I was gonna take notes. All right, quick pause, quick intermission. So between this section with the friend and the play thing, and between the whole Miami living and all that stuff in between, I started getting into it with my parents. And like I said, my parents aren't together, but they're together, and me and my mom just started going through it. It was bad. I don't know what happened. I think there was just a lot of misplaced anger and emotions between everybody. And at one point, because my family does have rental properties, which is really nice, I'm glad y'all got y'all multiple properties and stuff, my dad went to go live in one of them, and then me and my mom and my siblings were together in the house, and it just, I don't know if it was too much feminine energy going on at just the wrong time, and the emotions, it got bad. And I think I was like, at the time I was doing dog watching because I was trying to get my hustle on. I asked if I could watch dogs at the house because we've had pets before. I didn't think it'd be an issue, and for some reason she was like, no, go, you can go do that at your dad's. I was like, okay. So I actually ended up moving all my stuff out of that house into my dad. So I went to go live with my dad for a period of time because, you know, it was a lot. I think everybody was just angry at life, to be honest. I don't want to cover that too much because I'm not trying to drag my family too much into this. But that had happened. And at one point, I think I had gone back. I don't know. It was a lot of back and forth between houses and family properties or whatever. Anyways, that's in the middle. Forget about it. So you had the Miami saga. You had the like tense family saga. And then now I'm involved with friends at work. So that being said, I would hang out with this friend. I started seeing some issues because it felt like a competition. I would peep sly and slick comments of them trying to put me down about, oh, your hair type this or this, and they were always pointing out flaws. You have people who uplift you, and you have people who try to get close to you just to secretly tear you down right by your side. Like, they will infiltrate the position closest to you just to bring you down from right by your side. Like, they have Trojan horse tendencies. They're not really your friends. They are, but they're not, and they're associates. So anyways, yikes. And I do acknowledge that those situations are hard because we had a lot of fun. Like, there's not many people you can go international with and have a blast. Like, it was something out of a movie, I kid you not. So you have to acknowledge both sides. Like, you can have movie moments with people and they can still be your ops on the low. And if they're not working on healing to be a better friend towards you, because the way they're treating you is not fair, let's just say, you know, people gonna end up out your life, and that's just that. But anyways, I ended up having a lot of trouble at home with family. And so it got to the point where this friend was like, move in with me, like, come on, move in, it's gonna be fun, this and the third, I'm gonna get you a day. Like, they went as far as getting me a day bed, y'all. So I ended up hauling up, oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I've packed bags, put stuff in my car, loaded up, unloaded, moved over here, moved over there, booked a hotel, as if that's not plural. Anyways, she was like, come live with me. Before I moved in, she's like, I'm lonely, I would really like the company. I go, listen, like, I don't judge your lifestyle. I don't judge any woman and what they do, but just so you know, I'm not comfortable with the men you have around, especially because I was having issues with just men in general, just being touchy, violating, like, just violating, okay? Anyways, I was having this, like, yeah, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I hate men. I'm not gonna hate an entire species, gender, whatever, but they're just not my fave right now. And I know they're not all the same, but right now at this time in my life, I'm just staying away from them. And even when I'm out of my little phase, my world still does not revolve around them. I am my own woman at the end of the day. This person, she promised me, she's like, oh my God, no, I only had them over because I was lonely. It's not gonna happen when you move in because I'm gonna have you. It's just not gonna happen. We're gonna have so much fun. Your girl moved all her stuff, or at least not my furniture and stuff, but you know, like, moved all my things, went over. I'm not gonna try to give a frequency. I'm not trying to paint my friend as like a certain person or like, oh, this is not that type of story. Let's just say that promise got broken. It got broken more than once. It was definitely getting broken on a consistent level. So I was just like, yeah, that's not fair to me. Whether she is or is not doing anything, whatever it is, whether they're just over for company and vibes and watching movies, I don't care. That's not my place to judge. So I was in this weird position where I felt like I couldn't speak up because this is not my house. I'll be damned if I tell somebody what to do in their house where they pay rent, especially when I was a friend who couldn't be the roommate. I could have been living there. I chose not to. So I felt like I was in this weird position to like, no, you're gonna see me be here with so-and-so, you're gonna see me vibing. And she already knew I was with the guy she had paired me with, and she told me like, I see how y'all spend time together, you know, like, I just want that too. So I was like, okay, so basically what you said about me coming here and us being on some friendly stuff, like, oh, we're friends, we're going on adventures, because if a guy's not in the picture, it's not complete. So it got to the point where I ended up just having to leave. I forgot what had happened, if there was something that triggered it, but I did know that I was cleaning up after the household. I was making I don't just come to people's households and make myself useless. Because I was staying there, I know I had to throw some money her way. I know I was cleaning, I was taking out the trash, I was constantly doing the dishes, I was constantly cleaning up. It's crazy because at one point we had actually had a trial run living together in one of my family's properties because we was gonna move in, and I saw between that and the current apartment that this is just somebody I could not live with personally. I get very messy too. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't. I get messy. I'm severely depressed. I can get messy too, but eventually I clean up. There's a difference between depression and laziness, and I know there's a very thin line, but there's also a difference between depression and work ethic and just who a person is as a person. There are some people where even if you feel like you took the depression away, because you're dealing with two depressed individuals and a broken promise, even if you took the depression away, they still wouldn't have cleaned. So anyways, and then her child got involved and her sister, and it got to the point where I was like, there's a lot going on in this house. I'm gonna have to remove myself from the situation because I became Uber, I became Lyft, I became the ride share, and I never asked for gas. We talking about over a year span, y'all, and 3 months I think was the time I was living there. So it got to the point where, you know, I just stopped living there. I had to unload all my stuff again. I think my mom had come to help me, even though we was beefing. She came to help me. I was going through a real hard point of my life. Like, if I was gonna lose myself in any year, that would have definitely been the year I tried to take myself out in my 20s. It was bad. It was bad. And to make things worse, I was still going over to see the guy I was with, but let me tell y'all about that dynamic. His friends despised me. I don't know where this came from. I don't know if it was one-sided stories that the guy was telling them. I don't know if they were just jealous or whatever, because hey, he got a bad bitch with on-call pussy, okay? Because I was a dumbass driving 30 minutes. I'm gonna see my friends. I'm gonna go put it on him. I'm gonna go do. They ended up hating me, y'all. They ended up hating. And let me tell you, when I was dealing with people younger than me and I was put in a bully environment, and if I say something, it's why are you harassing teenagers? Because he's like the oldest of the group. And if I don't say something, it's why aren't you standing your ground? Y'all, I can't even begin to tell you. It got to the point where I didn't want to go out into the hallway to pee because they were so loud about my existence being a problem. I was talked about out loud. I was insulted about my appearance, who I was. I was asked why I didn't pay rent. Can you imagine going to a man's house and because they asked you to come, because they asked you to come there, and they ask you every goddamn weekend. Can you imagine going to somebody's house per request, showing up, and then having the people around them that live there with him, like the one roommate and the friends, complain about me being there, even though I'm cleaning up after them. I've cooked meals before. I have made myself quiet. I've taken out trash. Like, I'm not a burden to any household. If I'm in your house, you'll see me around like a little mouse, like cleaning stuff up, like Cinderella shit, okay? Or even then, I'll just not do anything. I'm not gonna be in your business, be in your space. Y'all, it got bad. It got to the point where my car was tampered with. The roommate was threatening to call the tow company so my car would get taken. There was jokes about me getting thrown out the window if I got a Valentine's gift one day. Like, it was just, the stuff in the group chat was scary. The stuff said out loud right in front of me when they knew I was in the house was cruel. I can't even go to the extents of which, like, if I sat here and thought of everything, y'all probably be in tears with me. If you have a heart. But yeah, I went through it, and it's crazy because I kept showing up because I think I was just so lonely and so depressed that year, and I lost myself so much, and I'm so sad for the me that existed at that time, for not snapping out of it and waking up earlier. But I kept showing up despite all the bullying, and it was worse because he wouldn't stand up for me. He was non-confrontational, so he let his friends off the hook, and then he would come at me like, why are you starting stuff with them? So it got to the point, finally, I snapped out of it, and we went through it, y'all. There was other girls involved. There were other girls in the house. I was not the only one. They knew about it too. They knew about when I got cheated on. Like, they was in on it. So that's why they were okay. They're not the type of guys to be like, oh, don't cheat on your girl, she's a real one. No, like, let it happen, because, you know, they're stuck in this mentality of, oh, let's have hoes, oh, let's do this, oh, we gonna be out here doing shit. And I basically messed up those plans because he was fucking with me so much because I was a real one that he didn't want me going anywhere. But in the process, I got hurt bad, y'all. Like, my HP was at 1 at that point. The bar, it was red and flashing. My HP was at 1. I had no health left. I was tired. I actually got my car towed there because I parked with no pass at one point. I had to pay hundreds of dollars to get it out. Like, it was, damn, this is depressing. The roommate made it his personal mission and vendetta to like just humiliate me and be cruel. And mind you, he's a teenager, by the way. Just to be cruel. I was being spoken about over the game headset, and for some reason my guy didn't realize, or the guy, he's not even my guy at this point, the guy didn't realize that the more he let his friends say and do and act however towards me, the more vicious I got with him. So I didn't recognize myself that year because I was angry. I was blowing up on him because I wasn't allowed to blow up on his friends because I would get in trouble. And the one time I did blow up on his friends, he came after me for doing so, for finally standing up for myself. Yup. Ain't that crazy? Y'all even know half of what nobody ever laid a hand on me. Nobody did. And what's crazy is that I vibe with them before they fuck with me. Like, we smoked together, we would hang out, like I was not a problem, and then suddenly I was, because he was hanging out with me too much and he liked me too much. So they basically pitted him against me and just whispered whatever in his ear, and then I guess whatever one-sided stories he went to tell them without sharing his behalf. Like, your girl's sitting on some shit. I'm sitting on some secrets, okay? I could have been made some very, very, very exposing, cruel story times towards other people, but I have waited to get to a place of healing to decide what I want to share, and it feels great to be here because I did do a story time a long time ago. It's sitting in my private videos. It was like 2 hours long, or an hour. I think it was like an hour long. Either an hour long or 2 hours long. I don't know, hour and a half. I don't know. It was a long one about everything I had gone through with him and the roommate and the people around him. And it was just, I was watching it back and I was like, why'd you allow yourself to go through that? Like, I've had some of the foulest, most up shit said to me, or said about me, or this, that, and the third, and they never said to my face. They would just be quiet in my face, or they'd smile in my face, and it's crazy. I've hung out with the roommate, I smoked with the roommate, like they were on good energy. And then I guess because I was showing up too much per his request, because I know when I'm not wanted, per his request to book on him, to be with him, to etc., it was a problem. Oh, that gets my blood boiling. And I know I would be hot right now, but I probably haven't even told y'all half of it. Like I said, nobody laid a hand on me, but they made sure that they made it the worst mental and emotional and psychologically vicious environment they could have created. And I kept showing up like a dumbass because I was lonely and I was sad. And I thought he was my friend. And he was coming after me like, why do you still live with your parents? Anyways, and let me speed this up because it's gonna be a long one. I got to the point where I finally woke up, and it wasn't until like the end of like last year, I kid you not, it took me like a year and a half of being cheated on, being lied to, gaslighted, manipulated, bullied, talked about, etc. Like, just the people were coming for me. I was the punching bag of the house, and roommates and people around him started demanding why I don't pay rent. But why would I pay rent for a place I haven't moved into? I'm so confused. If I have not pulled a U-Haul up to your house or the parking lot, why am I paying rent? So it was as simple as, I'm not showing up anymore. And now we got, boo-hoo-hoo, why aren't you coming to see me? I miss you. I'll pull up to you. I'll drive over there. I'll drive the 30 minutes. And once he started driving the 30 minutes to me, he started realizing, this is a long drive. I can't believe you were doing this. Like, if you're not being treated well, just pull yourself out the situation. Like, people don't deserve access to you. If you have the ability to pull yourself out the situation, I don't care if you're depressed, obsessed, whatever it is, snap the fuck out of it. I'm telling you this so you can snap out of it. So I stopped going. It got to the point where I was like, I'm not putting up with this. Why? Just ignore them, this, that, and the third. I feel like he came to me because he knew I was like the successful, like, oh, if I stick with her, I'll win. But then he wouldn't let go of, I'm not saying you don't have to be friends with him anymore. I'm just saying don't put me through that. Because I know if a new girl walked in the house, they wouldn't treat her like that. They're treating me like this because I've been here. I've been here for a minute. And they're scared you might be in love. That's all it is. I stopped showing up, and all of a sudden the attitude changed. I miss you, this and the third. Oh, because you ain't getting pussy no more. You ain't getting vibes. You ain't getting cuddles, right? I had stopped showing up, and it got to the point where it got very toxic, a lot of back and forth. I think other girls were still involved. There was a lot of lack of loyalty. So it got to the point where I was going through it. I was staying at my dad's at the time. And I remember one day I wake up and like my whole family's there in the house, and they're like, yeah, like everybody has to go. We're renting out all of the properties. And I was like, but I live in one of them. So one day, after this whole thing with the friend and the guy and this and the third, after all of that, I found out, and this was the month of December. The holidays were coming around. I think it was November or December, because I think it was November, because the holidays hadn't hit yet. I find out I gotta evacuate the house. But for some reason, it's just me. It's just me. I don't know what's going on. I was like, where is everybody else going? Oh, well, don't worry about that. Your dad's gonna get an apartment and we're going here in the third, but you need to go too. Oh, okay. All right, great. So my dumbass decides to go to, not really, because I met some good friends again. Like the Miami saga's be coming out like, I decided to go to Miami because I was like, the hostels down there are cheap. I know I said never stay in a hostel again, but I healed from the previous, all that had happened like in my early 20s. I was like, fuck it, the weather's good, it's December, I'm depressed here, I'm ready to off myself, like I'm over it. I'm gonna go to a cheap, affordable place and go to Miami. And my parents did try to help me with the place, but they ironically ended up back in one of the houses. Like nobody left but me. It was a very weird situation. I felt like I was being targeted. I didn't know if it's because it was like, hey, you need to fly the nest and we don't know how to tell you nicely. I don't know if it was like oh, the intention was for everybody to move, but then it didn't happen, but you already left. Long story short, I went back to Miami because I think at this point I've been to Miami so many times that it was second nature. Like, oh, well, man, go somewhere, go to Miami. I ended up staying in a hostel. That shit was a mess. That shit was a disaster. Like, I kid you not, I was standing in other people's bath water to shower. It was like $10-something a night. It was wild. The type of people you get in hostels down there. We had situations, people were getting kicked out. Somebody tried to grab me on the street while I was walking, like literally grabbed me, but he was like my height. He was like this high to me, and the dude behind him was taller, but he was the one who said grab her. I was like, bro, what? Like, I was there with a model friend who was also, once again, I wasn't really in the industry. I started the OF, I did, but I had met a friend who was a stripper and a model and dominatrix. I was like, that's crazy. I keep coming down here and meeting people in the industry, but I haven't fully committed to the industry. Anyways, we were down there. We had our little adventure time. It was a mess. It was a lot. I tried to make the best out of it. I had fun because the guy I was with was seeing other people. He didn't want to claim me this entire time. I'm being unclaimed, y'all. I'm not even a girlfriend going through this. I was just in a situationship being put through hell by the person and the people around them. Anyways, it wasn't even a girlfriend, so I was having my fun. I was enjoying myself, okay? I was going out with people, I was smoking, I was going on dates. Being safe, of course, always safe, and never giving up the goodies too easily. Restricted access or denied access is very important, especially as a woman. Trust me, you're gonna learn. If you're having fun, have fun. If you don't wanna have fun, don't have fun. There's different levels to fun. You don't have to commit to, like, you know. Anyways, I went down there and I had the friend come visit me because it was crazy how I was going through that situation and people know I was down there because I was struggling with housing, and I was like, well, I'm gonna struggle with housing. I may as well go to a place that's cheaper to live every day than it is to get a hostel up in the city I'm at because it's expensive. They saw that and they still had this like, oh, so you're in Miami? Yes, because I got kicked out of my house. Well, I don't know what my parents are going through, but they don't need me there right now. They don't want me there. They told me, I was like, can I come back to this house? No. Well, what about that? No. So anyways, I'm down there. I had the guy come visit. We had like an explosive reunion, but it was stupid. I gotta stop letting people I was stupid. And I had the other friend come down there and they just had this like, oh, you're down here. I was like, cause I got kicked out. Miami's not new to me, okay? Every time I come here, it's some weird trauma either happening here or I've left the trauma, so I came here instead. Like, this is not a cute trip. We're just making it cute. But it turned out nice. I did some OF content, I was filming, I was enjoying myself, and that is actually, so Miami I think is the place, that Miami trip I started camming in, and I realized, oh, this is good, but then I fell off from it. Anyways, but I found out that camming did what it do, so I was like, okay, so it's, you know, I'm getting glimpses into this life, I'm getting these things around me that's like, why don't you try and I'm like, okay, just slowly, but I had to deal with this first. So anyways, holidays come around, Thanksgiving, I think I ended up being in a hostel by myself eating Subway. Christmas came around, I don't know what happened, it was just depressing, and I think my parents or my parent or whatever had a change of heart and they're like, come back. Nobody left. I was like, I know. Why are y'all putting me through this? This is shitty character development. I hate it here. But it got to the point where when I came back, I just felt on edge because I was like, can I get kicked out any second? Like, I don't know what emotions are running through the household, but like I thought we were cool. I thought we were, you know, I helped you chase your dream years ago and, you know, I kind of delayed my own and now I'm trying to find myself and this and the third. And why am I helping everybody? Nobody's helping me. Damn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to be a long story time, but here we are. your girl been through it. And honestly, like the worst moments were probably like the roommate thing, because I really got bullied. Like it's crazy. Not me being in 20 something years old, mid-20s, being bullied by a goddamn teenager. And also the first Miami saga, because that was just, bro, just having Big Hearts Club, this sometimes you gotta shut that shit down. But it was tough. I came back, I felt like I was walking on eggshells, because I was just like, no, because the next mood swing, do I still live here, question mark? And I started to realize, yeah, I gotta get my own place. I had moved out the friends because, you know, apparently male validation was required in that household. You couldn't just be two best friends, you know, the girls getting along on some good energy. It was for a little bit, but then I guess that got boring to somebody. And then I was getting bullied in the other household, where I was giving myself up to somebody who couldn't even protect me and stand up for me against their own friends and family. Glad I was the joke of the group chat. Anyways, that being said, and it goes well beyond that, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. That being said, I started to realize I needed to just like get out, because I felt myself being made small in a lot of environments, and I wasn't bothering anybody. That's the thing. I wasn't even camming yet. It's not like, oh my god, she's playing with a pussy every day. Oh, she smokes weed every day. I just be chilling, bro. I just be like, I was just there. I was just existing there in the same space as people, and I was trying my best. And if somebody asked me for a favor, I did it. When you're at the mercy of other people's households, you're more inclined to do favors if you have a big heart, because you feel like, oh well, I'm here, let me do it. I was doing a lot of favors with the one friend who didn't drive. I drove everywhere, never asked for gas. With the guy, I was putting up with what I was putting up with, and I was still being very, very kind to him, very generous. Showed up upon request. With my family, I always looked out too. So I was just like, how is it that I'm giving, and then I'm just getting hurt in return? Don't get me wrong, my family has looked out my entire life. This was just a little hiccup where I think just it was too much. It was grown adults. Everybody in the house was grown. It was too much going on. I think it was like, hey, you need to figure your shit out. Go do whatever. Maybe this will help you. I think that's honestly what it was, because the houses never got rented. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. In all fairness, the house I had to leave got rented, and the other house that was available for me to go to instead of going to Miami was available, but apparently I wasn't welcome there. And then they reneged on their word and blah blah blah. Anyways, I'm getting to the point where I realized I need my own. So I stayed with my parents for a little bit, and I started working at the warehouse again. And then something like woke me up, and I was like, this is the same cycle. You work at warehouses, you stay with your parents, nothing changes. You have to change something. And for anybody who saw my Hustle Girl Summer series, where this started all of it, and the growth has been exponential now that I am tracking and recording and being extremely self-aware of my journey and trying to break the cycle. Hustle Girl Summer is where I'm living with my parents. I have gone through everything I've gone through with my housing history, living with him, her, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 house hopping, just being unwelcome, okay? People using their houses as leverage against me, people calling on my company and energy just to act like they didn't want it in the first place after I got there. Weirdo activity, just straight up weirdo activity. And this is why I'm so protective of my time and who has access on me, because people move weird. Anyways, I realized I was in the same cycle. So I was like, you know what? I thought long and hard about it. I was like, I'm gonna make a change in my life. Food delivery, camming, I'm gonna commit to this sex work journey, because I was like, if I'm gonna be with a man who put me through so much, and yeah, I put him through some stuff too. And on top of that, his friends put me through even more, and the roommate, like, you ain't even got nothing. I swear. And you know what's crazy, y'all? You know what's crazy? The roommate was flirting with me first, and my guy has admitted that he thinks the roommate was coming from me first, but then I ended up paying attention to him. So it was just jealousy. It was jealousy, but you didn't have to do the emotional harm and mental harm you did to me. When I finally stood up and got other people involved, all of a sudden people was pissed. People was livid, y'all. I finally spoke up with only 20% of the energy that people were putting on me, and I wasn't even vicious about it, and people were mad. Do you know how mad I am? After what I went through, you know how pissed I should have been? And you mad because I stepped up to you respectfully and I called you out on your behavior? I could tell my inner circle gonna be small, and that's okay. Anyways, that being said, I decided to break the cycle, and at one point I had come into contact with an old high school friend. I was still involved with the guy. I was somewhat still involved with the other friend, but then they moved out of state and got married with some guy and started living in their house because, you know, if you're happy, congratulations. Congratulations, love. My knowledge, they just moved back actually, but this story's not about them or their business. So anyways, I moved in with the male friend. So this is my last roommate, and this is like as of a couple months ago, which I'm gonna do a whole separate story time on this because anyway, so I moved in with this male friend. I guess he thought he was gonna that's a general like summary of that. I don't even need to really go into detail. He thought he was gonna, he judged cam girls and sex workers, even though all his friends were like sex workers, and he also was in the industry. He was very open and inviting when I first moved in, and he was like, business, money, you know, I could save half on rent, this and the third. He really wanted a roommate for the same reason I wanted a roommate, which was financially. And then when I moved in and he realized I wasn't cooking for him, because you're not my man, I'm not cooking you because you're not my man, I'm not cuddling you, nor can you touch me because you're not my man. Once he realized those things, the energy switched up. He was being really nice to me, but I think it was like one of those, like, I'm being a nice guy because eventually it pays off when nice guys are nice. And it's like, no, you be a nice person because you're a nice person. You don't expect anything in return. So he's being really nice, and then suddenly he switched up. He was asking me to be out the house at certain hours or when he had people over. I was like, so I can't be in the house I'm paying to stay in because you have people coming over. Like, I kid you not, this man had me out like in my car at night on the street just to tell me, oh, they never showed up. You got me outside at night in my car with nothing to do because you said you were having company over, and then you waited till I came home 3 hours later and told me they never showed up. So I could have been in the house. So why was I outside of so why would I pay rent to be Y'all, he had a girl over like a couple days before I moved out, and her stuff was all over my stuff, and she was over. He was asking me like, when are you gonna be at the house? You're gonna be here tonight? Like, he wanted his rent paid, but he didn't want me in the house. And this is when I had fully picked up camming. I was like, oh, I'm here. I let him know. I was like, is this okay? He's like, everything's fine. I'm cool with your work. I'm cool with what you do. You're camming, all of it. All that went out the window. On top of that, he did not want me putting anything in the living room whatsoever. So I couldn't even like properly put anything anywhere. He wanted me confined to one room. I was just like, so I can't put my, and it was like a studio space, mind you. If I had my own like, oh yeah, this is yours and this, no, it was a big ass studio space. So it had like little branches off, like the kitchen's over here, this and the third, and we had separated our sleeping areas. I wasn't allowed to put anything in the main room, and there was room. There was plenty of room. Y'all, it got real funny. Cleaning went out the window. It got nasty in there. It got very, very nasty. I'm talking about mold growing. The trash wasn't being taken out. And, you know, once again, depression, because I know a lot of people I know are depressed. But when I see you come home and you hop on the game from the time you got home to the time you go to bed, and you couldn't pick up the extra pizza boxes in the, I feel like if you have the will to play the game, you have the will to throw the trash in the bag. I'll take the bag out. It got to the point where I was taking the trash out, y'all. Like, you think you gonna touch me? Anyways, so that was the last arrangement. He got very funny because he realized he didn't get the, and nobody believed that like I wasn't sleeping with him, I guess. They're like, oh no, I was like, why would I pay rent and then still sleep with somebody here who treats me like this? Whew, child. So I moved out of there, and ironically I actually kicked myself out the house early. He said I could stay till like next year March, which is like this year, 2022, and I had kicked myself out early because I was like, oh, it's okay because my guy, the same one from the story, is moving in with me. Now mind you, before this happened, my guy was very hesitant about moving in with me. He didn't want to move in, despite the fact that I should have been more cautious given loyalty issues and this and the third. He acted like he ain't want to move in with me. We was already acting like we lived together because he had me coming to see him all the time. We was already acting like we was in a relationship. But not only did he not want to date me, he didn't want to move in with me. And he was like, well, I'm gonna move in with my friends. Me and my friends are doing this. Me and my friends. Guess who lives here now with me? Guess who worked her ass off in December to get us both a spot? Guess who's minding her motherfucking business and doing what she needs to do because only I look out for myself and my family. We're not fighting. So it was my friends this, my friends that. He was pissed that I moved in with another man. He was livid. He was livid. Just being around him, I was toxic. So I had lied, and I apologize for this, but I thought it was hilarious. He didn't want to move in with me. He didn't want to date me, but he got mad that I moved home without him. I thought this was hilarious. I shouldn't have done it. I did come clean because I don't feel good lying because I just don't lie. But I had told him that I was with my roommate. I was like, he got a BMW. I'm with him now. This and that. Y'all, my values aren't even like that. I was just annoyed. That's how toxic and irritated and pissed I was at that time because I was hurting. I was going through a breakup. You can see it in the vlogs. I was going through a breakup. I thought we were going to live together and be on like anime, cooking together vibes, this and the third. He's over here like, my friends and I are doing this. We're getting this. I was like, your friends are smoking and doing nothing. I know y'all had the spot before, but it don't look like they doing that. He was having trouble at home, so he's texting me like, man, maybe we should move in together, this and the third. Oh, we're both having trouble at home, where it's like, I'm like, I can't cam, because now I fully stepped into camming. I'm like, I can't cam, and you were having trouble at home. We both need our own space back. Anyways, I had told him I was with my roommate, which I wasn't. Y'all, that man touched me. I was with my roommate, and my roommate thought I was still involved with him, but he didn't know that. I think he was just deep in my business. He would like watch my stories constantly. I actually removed him as a friend while we were living together, because I know that seems really up, but he was watching my stories, and then he had the nerve to tell me he was proud of me one day when he saw my Instagram growing, but he never likes any of my content. He just watches it. I was like, that's not like, I'm not saying you have to like all your friends' stuff, but you watching my every, like, I kid you not, like he would have just left the house and I'd post something, he saw it. As soon as I post something, he saw it. So I was just like, I know a lot of people on Instagram and they check stories like that quickly, but you could, you know, just double tap. Saw a post you can help with engagement. I don't know how you're proud of me, but you don't support me as a friend. And this is somebody I knew since high school, but I was like, all right. Anyways, eventually I came clean and I ended up getting back together with my ex, and it was messy. He was still talking to other girls. He was on apps. I just never got to be the only one in the picture. I think at some points I was, but it never lasted long. So to this day, I think I'm the only one in the picture now, which is cool, but I'm minding my business so much that I don't even care. If I found something, if I peeped anything, I'd be like, okay, the cycle continues. But the important thing is half my rent's paid right now. And I'm minding my business and I'm growing in the meantime. So if the year ends and, you know, it's time to walk away, I made sure I did what I need to do with my time. Anyways, and the me from when I was visiting him and the me I am now with living with him are two different people, because the me I was when I was visiting him would be in a terrible situation because she'd be obsessed with hanging out every 2 seconds. I was being called clingy, this and the third. Like the me now, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, sure, we could do something. Oh yeah, it's best friend energy, for real. Just not even best friend, just close friend energy. It's me who was like obsessed and in love and this and the third and just being walked all over and was stupid and tolerated any treatment, was living now with this person, I would not be doing as well as I'm doing. Anyways, came clean about the whole situation, and they were like, wow, like you really, like that's some toxic shit, you really. I was like, yeah, because I was hurt. I was going through the breakup and it was supposed to be us living together, and because we make content, I'm sorry, I should mention that we also make content together, and I don't intend to have multiple content partners. So I was just like, all right, either we stop making content and I go mind my business, and maybe one day I'll do it again with my husband, or I'll just get out of it completely and go be an author or whatever, or me and you make some content, make some money, and when we finally split, at least we got something out of it. Came clean, ended up getting back involved with him, and he's like, yeah, my friends aren't serious, like you ready to move? So we started applying for stuff and looking for stuff. Eventually the applications were not going through, and mind you, a long time ago, I forgot to mention this, I did apply with a friend who like loves men so much. We actually did try, oh man, this story is very multifaceted. We did try to apply somewhere that got denied too. So the two people who had their own place originally, I was not able to successfully push through due to the pandemic things, and that's not, I'm not like, oh, look at y'all. No, the pandemic was hard and a lot of people struggled with their housing or maintaining their housing or keeping it. So I'm not passing judgment there, but we were not able to get on the application. Also, another thing, damn, talk about deja vu and parallels. So with the one friend who loved men so much, they wanted to move in, and I had said yes. So I think the application got denied for a reason, I'm not gonna lie. They wanted to move in with their child and their sister and me. And nobody drove but me, by the way. Do you know how much driving that would have been? I would have been playing Uber every single day. I would have gotten nothing done. I really think that did not go through for a reason. With the guy, he wanted to move in with his brother. And originally I said yes, but after being harassed and tormented by like their whole group, why would I even allow the energy in my house? Like 2 versus 1, come on now. And the mentality that goes on between them, I was just like, no, I need my zen space, okay? I need my little, okay? So I'm happy things worked out the way they worked out, because damn, you just stop saying yes to stuff. You gotta start saying no. I'm telling you, your life will change for the better. So I actually tried to get places with these people, and you know, I was taking on more responsibilities that weren't even my own for the sake of just having a roommate. So anyways, got back involved with my ex, and I ended up, this is last December 2021, I told the roommate who was mad he could fuck me, the most recent one, that I was gonna leave in December because my guy, ex, whatever, best bro, told me he'd be ready to move. I work my ass off camming. I hit the minimum requirement just in case we can't apply together, because, you know, do all of that just to find out he didn't have the money. I hit the income requirement, but I did not have the spare funds because the bitch got bills, okay? Told me he didn't have the money. I was like, so where am I supposed to? So I actually lowered my pride, which is not, I don't really have an issue with being prideful. But I just knew it was gonna be awkward. I went back to the roommate who was mad he can fuck. I was like, maybe he'll have a heart. And I was like, hey, you know, I thought I was moving, but I'm not. I'm so sorry. It's December, it's the holidays. Can I just stay for one more month for December? I got your money ready. Yeah, no, I need my space and privacy back. But if we was fucking, this wouldn't be a problem, right? Because I know if we was fucking, you would have said yes, right? Because I know if we was fucking, you wouldn't have these conversations. Because you can't touch me, I'm literally just a roommate to you. You don't want me here any longer. Now, albeit I did talk on the phone. I think that's probably like one of the most annoying things I did. And it wasn't even like every day because I still had work to do. But he gamed and he was on the game calling people slurs and stuff. So I feel like that canceled out. You on the game being loud and annoying and being hateful, or in gamer world, whatever, challenging. And I'm on the phone talking with people, and I'd be talking on the phone in the car. That was probably the only thing. I was cleaning, I was cooking my own meals, and he would do this like, oh, that smells good. And I'm like, yep. Like, I'm not babysitting, I'm telling y'all. Like, I don't care if that makes me seem cruel. And it's so weird how you have a big heart and the one time you set your boundary, it makes you feel bad. But when people set their boundaries all the time, or they're mean about it, or they're vicious about it, or they're just treating you some type of way because they didn't get what they wanted, they don't feel bad. I feel like they don't even feel like a little bad. So I went back to him. He said no, which I'm not mad about that. You're allowed to say no. That's called setting boundaries. So, you know, I know it's because he didn't get the, but he's still allowed to say no. I don't want you in the house. You already announced, you know, I told him I was going to be there to end the holidays. I spoke up and fumbled myself out my own spot. So that's on me. And he had this like, no, well, you said, I don't care where you go. You just can't stay here. I was like, damn. So I'm looking at the guy like, you said you're ready. He's like, yeah, I'm not. The other friend, who's still actually in the picture, the one who loves men, was out of state. They moved and got married, but they were like, oh, like, we could travel for the whole month. Like, you know, me and my man, we rich and this and the third. We could go wherever. I was like, okay, great. So I'm trying to contact her, like, hey, where you want to go? Like, you know, this would be fun. She's like, we go to Island, we go wherever. Like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. And she knew about me moving in with the high school friend who was mad he come fuck, and my guy knew about it. Now, he knew the truth. Now, she just saw me moving in with another person. Like, we tried to apply somewhere, so it's not even like, oh, I never tried to live with you and we were friends. No, we tried to apply. We didn't get approved. Anyways, was contacting her. She vanished. Y'all, she vanished. It is December. It's the holidays. I'm hauling. You'll see this in the vlogs if you're watching this around this time. If not, you can dig into the archives and find them. You'll see it in the vlogs. It is Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I'm hauling stuff out, and I go back to my parents because he has every right to say no. I know it's because he can't fuck. If I turned around that day and I said, come on, let's go to the bedroom. Come on, we can do this right now. Oh, well, you can stay. I know for a fact, but because that did not happen, and I set my boundary of no, you're not touching me. We're roommates, as you said. All of a sudden, anyway, so I went back to my parents. The friend who said that, you know, we're gonna go wherever for December and everything's okay, vanished, poof. The guy I was supposed to move in with, who's currently, you know, it wasn't ready. So I found myself tripping myself out my spot for other people who just had multiple options at that. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't chase other people's dreams for them or whatever. Don't ruin the position you're in for somebody else. I was like, oh, I bet this situation sucks. I went back to my parents. Last December, I was working my ass off. First, I was very discouraged, and then I was on my period, and then I just didn't want to do anything. I was like, I can't cam here. Sorry, mom and dad. I ended up camming at my parents damn near every day. I have a handful of usernames that really helped me get this apartment. Like, I know I did it, but the people who looked out, people want to get mad at sex work and camming, like, oh, people are just giving you money. At the end of the day, when you really break it down, we're all waiting for our next paycheck from someone. The people who pay me just fuck with me. They just like my vibe. They actually like me, okay? So at the end of the day, we're all being paid by other people. I don't see why people be hating on this, but I know they really looked out. I have in the notes for one, I was like, help me get this apartment. Whew, so end of December comes. I was on a timeline. I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I gotta clear $3,000 by myself. As income verification. Y'all, I made it. I made it. I did it after all of that. After all of that, I did it. Playing with my pussy got my first apartment after all of that. And so here we are. Yes, I am roommates with the guy in the story, actually. Yes, we do make content together. And I found myself setting firm boundaries now because just due to life, this person does not have a vehicle. So I am living with somebody who does not have a car right now. And I am a little annoyed because they said they was gonna help me with half my car bill, and that agreement just went out the window. So I already said the universe is gonna pay me back. And if I'm gonna live with people who are clearly going to mooch off of me, or they are going to take advantage where they can, or try to save money by living with me or being with me, or save money on me, I'm gonna be with the person out of love. They did help me out with content, but that being said, they were the one who wanted me to get in the industry in the first place. I made the grown-up decision to, but I also know what they was doing for other girls. And that's not even rolling my eyes at the other girls. It's me rolling my eyes at him. Anyways, that's at that point bare minimum, because access is everything and pussy is power at the end of the day. Regardless, we're here now. I know that story time was all over the place. This is not to slander or go after anybody. That's why I didn't want to use names or code names or nothing like that. I'm just letting y'all know what I went through, and I think some stuff did happen. I don't want to say happen for a reason. I don't necessarily believe that, but I do feel like some things were prevented by the universe matching my energy, because I know how I work, and I think the moving arrangements I was willing to accept just to have a roommate would have made me extremely unhappy and stressed. Mind you, the current arrangement, which I'm not gonna get into because I'm currently in it and I don't like to talk about my current situation, is definitely going to have its problems in the future, I'm sure. That being said, I have laid down some ground rules. So this is my apartment. Welcome. It's beautiful. It's a loft. I got my dishes in the kitchen. I got my bedroom things in here. I bought a 50-inch when I moved in, and I bought a new laptop for camming. And I pay half my rent because I still have my $500 car bill. Now, the car, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but the car is all on me. The $500 bill, the maintenance, because I just shelled out $400 to make sure we're on the road with good tires and stuff like that. Gas, because the gas prices are crazy right now. Anyways, it's all on me. The person went back on their arrangement because times are tough, but I also know people's work ethic. That said, I'm not gonna get too much into it. We are here now. This is my place. Half the rent's paid. And at the end of the day, I made sure I got claimed. That's another thing. I'm not doing shit out of a situationship no more. I'm sorry, absolutely fucking not. All right, so if I do something for you, you are my boyfriend. So like I said, the universe is gonna match my energy and pay me back in the future, because right now I know I'm being very generous. Very generous. I know when I was struggling with car problems, because mind you, while this was happening throughout the years, the car was still definitely acting the fuck up. All right, cutting the fuck up, right? And I was paying people that I was with, or even the guy in the picture, to help scoop me here and there. But when I'm driving people around, a girl don't get no gas. That's weird how that works. So anyways, I know I'm being very generous in this situation, but I'm proud of myself because the big thing I've been doing is minding my business. So therefore, I've been putting in the work. 25,000+ people following me on Instagram. Thank you. Started this year off with like 2,000. That's insane. I'm getting these YouTube videos up. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to put y'all on. I'm trying to snout y'all out of it. All right. If you was like me in 2020, I'm trying to wake you the fuck up. So hopefully hearing any of this, if you heard anything that relates to you, wake up. All right, you don't have to be the bad guy in the situation, nor do other people. Just know where you are and are not being respected. Just know where you should and should not allow access, and do what you need to do. Proceed accordingly. Anyways, I'm here and I'm home. I'm home. I go visit my parents. I still hang out with them, and I feel like my relationship with my parents is stronger because they're not like, oh, our 25-year-old daughter's in the house. They're like, oh, she's trying. I think she's doing a good job today. I have a place to do my sex work. I'm not chasing nobody else's dream. And yeah. I do find myself pulling, you know, more weight than I should be pulling. But the one thing is, I'm not carrying anybody, because a friend told me, they're like, you're gonna break your own damn back trying to carry everybody else. Imagine how light you would feel if you only carried yourself. I was like, yeah, you right. Anyways, I got a solid social group. It's good, y'all. It's good. Car situation sucks, and I do feel like I should be compensated because I know when you take a Uber, you pay. I know when you take a Lyft, you pay. I know they get money for the use of the car and them driving you. But apparently when it comes to me, I just got it. But that said, I'm not gonna get into it. Like I said, I'm very happy. The universe is gonna pay me back, and I'm just minding my business. That's the most important thing. Ladies, men, anybody, like, stop obsessing over your partner, whoever it is. Like, practice detachment and just know that you can have people around you and still focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. I wasn't getting anything done last year, and I was allowing myself to be literally harassed visiting somebody who was not able to stand up for me. Now I'm in my own environment. I do what I want. I am working for myself. Like, I'm trying to get published this year. I'm blowing up on Instagram. I'm trying to get the YouTube popping. I have people who support and love me here. I got people who support and love me in the cam world, and they show up for my shows and they pay. Like, life is lit. Life is lit. No complaints. All right. As far as the other friend or associate or whatever who was like in love with men, they did pop back up in my life, and I let them know like now is just not the time, respectfully. They came back up after the month had passed. They're like, yeah, sorry, my phone broke. And they were inquiring a lot about whether I got the apartment, and they were like, oh, I'm gonna come by, I'm gonna drop off a gift, I'm gonna do this and that. I was like, you don't have to. You don't have to. And I understand I stayed at your place, but I did a lot. I did a lot. People be so quick to forget what you did for them and just be like, remember when I... And that's another thing. When I was staying with that friend, their baby daddy was calling me a broke bitch. I was working my ass off, y'all, and I was driving her everywhere. So I was just like, you know what? I just... Nope. Pop back up in the picture. Oh, you got the place. Things aren't going too well. I'll stop by. It'd be so great for us to hang and do this. They wanted me to like play fitness coach and help them get in shape because I've been going to the gym and a whole bunch of other stuff. I was like, Y'all, start taking your time seriously. That's all I'm gonna say. Start taking your time seriously. Stop chasing after people and what they want and what they need, and start asking yourself what you need and what you want. And bam, look at that. It's all here. It's all here. Oh my God, this is so surreal. And I'm making sure I work my ass off this year so that by the time next year comes, because your girl is good for a year, I can go wherever. I'm gonna make sure that's possible. I'm gonna get my savings right. Now I'm trying to financially glow up because every 2 seconds it's a bill I gotta pay. But that being said, I'm gonna get myself even better. I got myself right, I'm gonna get myself even better, and then I'm gonna start looking out for my family. Please know that nobody in the story is the bad guy. Yeah, there's some people with some shitty qualities, but I've been healing and I learned that there aren't just like bad people. Not everything is black and white. Like, you can have a person who has not so great qualities or shitty behavior, but it doesn't make them like an inherently bad person. They just need to freaking heal or get over themselves or whatever it might be and stop harming people. But not everybody's self-aware enough to do that. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'm sorry the story time was long. I don't want pity. I don't want, oh my God, I can't believe in this and the third. If you want to comment and talk, I'm here and I'm home. I'm fucking home. Nobody could tell me shit, bro. This is mine. This is mine. Fuck out my face. Yeah. But anyways, that's all, y'all. I'm like genuinely happy. And I was saying for the longest, I was like, if I had to change an environment, everything would be good. If I had to change an environment, I didn't want to seem like I wasn't grateful for what I had at the time. But look, I have a change of environment. And yeah, I still be going through it with depression because depression, you know, that's how it works. But that being said, overall, I feel my happiness meter going up. Like, I feel good. So yeah, that's all I want to say. I'm home, y'all. Welcome home. Welcome home, baby girl. You did it. You did it by yourself too. Yeah, I did that. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. If you like this video, comment, share, subscribe, share your stories down below. You are not alone, whatever you're going through. I know a lot of people go through housing issues and just living circumstances, and yeah. With that being said, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
I know y'all are probably like, Danny, you got some damn nerve recording a video that is almost 90 minutes long and then still having the all damn audacity to record an outro monologue. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But y'all, this was everything. And thank you so much if you watched this, because either you fuck with me heavy or you just don't like me and you're in my business. That being said, that is everything regarding the housing situation and why home means so much to me. I learned so many lessons over the years, One of the biggest ones, follow your own dreams. You should not be on a path meant for somebody else because you are going to get lost. Second of all, do not force yourself somewhere where you do not fit, because there is a place for you and you're not going to find it, or you're going to have trouble finding it if you are hanging around the wrong places that you're not welcome at in the first place. And third of all, do not ever feel guilty for going. Whether you are catching a flight and going on vacation, whether you have up and left your hometown and moved somewhere else for your next adventure, this is your life. You can never feel guilty about living your life and trying to give yourself the best life. Okay, so you cannot look at people, whether it's friends, families, associates, oh, don't go, who do you think you are, leaving this, that, and the third. They got to focus on them and you got to focus on you. That is the biggest thing. This is your life, baby. So wherever you think you have to go, whatever environment you think you need to put yourself in so you thrive and succeed, go ahead and go for it. Do everything in your power to give yourself the most prosperous circumstances possible, because I really feel like that's where success comes from. And anyone who claims to care about you and your happiness and your health and how you prosper in this life, they will not hold you back in any shape or form. Unless you're doing some type of harm to others, if you just out here trying to be happy and figure out what the hell you got to do to get it together and, live your best life, people will not hold you back from that when they really fuck with you and they care about you. So please remember that. That's the biggest thing. And I think environment's so important, because if you are under the wrong conditions and circumstances, you can stunt your own growth. I really believe that. As I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, environment, company, energy. Where you put yourself, who you put yourself around, and how you carry yourself, and those people carry themselves too, I feel like has such an effect on you and your character and your success. But that's just my personal opinion. Thank you for watching.